Have you ever stopped to wonder if we were truly the first humans to walk this earth? What if there existed a civilization before Noah's, a hidden, powerful race completely erased from the sacred scriptures? Before the flood, the world was different, and some ancient texts suggest we weren't the only ones to inhabit this planet. A forgotten humanity reigned over the earth, mingling with beings from the sky, until the Creator himself decided to erase their existence with water and silence. What you're about to discover may surprise you, and perhaps change everything you believe about the origins of humanity. They say history was written by the victors, but what about when the victor was God himself? The few remaining clues were hidden between the lines, in fragments of manuscripts that challenge the official versions of the Bible. Genesis speaks of the flood, of Noah, of the corruption of mankind. But in the shadows of this account, there's something unsaid, a secret that echoes through the centuries. Who were the sons of God who intermarried with the daughters of men? And why were their descendants, the so-called giants of antiquity, completely erased from history? Imagine a world before the flood. Advanced cities, mysterious cultures, and beings with abilities we would now call supernatural. People who built gigantic monuments and left traces that still defy modern archaeology. Is it a coincidence that so many ancient civilizations speak of gods who descended from the heavens and mingled with humans? Or are we witnessing an ancient memory, something the Bible tried to hide? Many scholars believe that this forgotten race was formed by hybrids, the result of the union between celestial beings and human women. Beings of uncommon strength and wisdom, but overcome by arrogance and corruption. The very essence of evil would have begun there. Perhaps that's why God decided to destroy everything. But why completely erase any trace of this era? Why is the biblical text so vague, so enigmatic, so purposefully silent about this period? This stays with me until the end, because what seems like just a symbolic passage may hide a deeper truth than we imagine. There are apocryphal books, ancient texts, and even archaeological evidence that point to a much larger and much more dangerous story than the one told from church pulpits. A story of rebellion, power, and fall. A story that may reveal the true reason behind the flood. Have you ever wondered why so many different cultures speak of a great cataclysm that destroyed nearly all of humanity? Sumerians, Egyptians, Mayans, Hebrews all recount a similar event. A divine destruction to erase a corrupt era. But what exactly did God want to erase? And what remains to be told? Perhaps behind the myth of Noah, there lies something older and more forbidden. A lost civilization that dared to defy the laws of heaven and was wiped from the earth forever, or almost forever, because traces still exist hidden in rejected texts, in mysterious symbols, and in ruins that insist on telling their story. And it is precisely this history that was erased, the history of the hidden race before the flood, that you will now learn about. Perhaps this story will awaken something in you, a strange sense of familiarity, as if, somewhere in your earliest memory, you've heard of a forgotten time, of a race that predated everything we know. And if this feeling resonates with you, leave a comment below with what has touched you most so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Because this channel isn't just about theories and mysteries. It's about people who, like you, sense there's something bigger behind the official story. Every comment you leave here helps keep this collective search for answers alive. When you like the video, YouTube understands that this type of content needs to be shown to more people curious, questioning people who may also be wondering what really happened before Noah. And when you subscribe to the channel, you become part of this community that doesn't accept ready-made truths, that seeks to understand what has been hidden between the lines of Scripture and in the shadows of time. So if this mystery gives you chills, if something inside you tells you there's more to what's been revealed, show it. Comment, like, subscribe. Your participation is what keeps this investigation alive. It's what keeps this space going, so that each video reveals another fragment of what was erased. Now, if what we've seen so far already seems surprising, wait until you learn the details about who really was part of this forgotten race and the reason for their complete elimination from Earth. because what comes next is even more disturbing. The Bible describes a pre-flood world as a place riddled with corruption and violence. In Genesis 6, there's a simple yet profoundly enigmatic passage. The wickedness of man was great on the earth, but behind these words lies a layer of meaning that few dare explore. The planet wasn't just inhabited by ordinary humans. There was something different about the essence of that generation. A strange blend of power, ambition, and forbidden knowledge. Humanity in that era lived without limits, guided by desires and a mindset that challenged everything sacred. Cities grew, empires arose, and the boundaries between the natural and the supernatural began to disappear. Many apocryphal accounts speak of celestial wisdom given to men, of secrets of the stars, and of a lost spiritual technology. Perhaps what we call myth today is actually the distorted memory of a civilization that passed the point of no return. Now I want to delve even deeper into this topic, because understanding this world before Noah means understanding the decisions that led to its destruction and the hidden truths that remain behind the scenes of human history. Comment: that makes sense to me. The text of Genesis 6 speaks almost in a whisper. The sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were beautiful, and they took wives for themselves of all which they chose. A short passage, but one that carries one of the greatest enigmas in the entire biblical narrative. Who, after all, were these sons of God? Many interpret them as simple pious descendants of Adam, but other ancient texts, especially the Book of Enoch, reveal something much deeper and more disturbing. There, they are described as celestial beings who descended to earth, fascinated by human beauty, and who decided to break the boundary between the divine and the earthly. From this forbidden encounter, hybrid creatures were born, half human, half celestial beings who inherited power, wisdom, and a corrupted nature. This moment marked a rupture in the order of creation, a radical transformation that altered the destiny of humanity. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding who these children of God really were is to uncover one of the most impactful hidden truths in Earth's spiritual history. Write it down. I'm on this journey too. These hybrid beings, born from the forbidden union between the sons of God and the daughters of men, became known as Nephilim, a word that, in Hebrew, means the fallen ones. But fallen in what sense? Some say that because they were generated outside of divine order, they carried within themselves the essence of rebellion. Others believe the term refers to the very fall of the angels who created them. The fact is that the Nephilim were described as giants, powerful, and endowed with knowledge that surpassed human comprehension. Ancient peoples called them gods, heroes, titans. Their presence echoes in the legends of Greece, Mesopotamia, and even the Americas. They dominated civilizations, built colossal monuments, and corrupted the essence of creation. The impact of this mixture was so devastating that the very balance of the earth was shattered. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding who these Nephilim really were opens a door to the darkest revelations about the origins of humanity. Comment there: that makes sense to me. But if these giants truly existed, why is almost nothing left of them? It's as if history had been carefully rewritten, leaving only subtle traces of something that shouldn't be remembered. Some scholars say it was religious censorship, an attempt to protect faith from dangerous interpretations. Others believe it was something much deeper, a conscious decision to erase any mention of the true origin of evil on earth. There's evidence that ancient manuscripts were edited, that entire books disappeared, and that the biblical narrative was shaped to hide the impact of this forbidden race. After all, if people knew that evil was born not only of human disobedience, but of a mixture of the divine and the earthly, the entire spiritual structure of humanity would be shaken. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding who had an interest in erasing this part of history can reveal secrets about power, manipulation, and the very nature of truth. Write it down. I'm on this journey too. The curious thing is that, even outside the Bible, there are records that seem to echo the same forgotten story. The Book of Enoch describes in detail the fall of the Watcher's angels who mingled with humans and spawned a hybrid lineage, the Nephilim. The Book of Jasher also mentions beings of superhuman strength and size who dominated the earth before the flood. And when we look at the ancient Sumerian tablets, we find gods and kings who lived thousands of years apart, almost as if they spoke of the same beings, but with different names. Coincidence? Perhaps not. There are artifacts depicting figures with wings, helmets, and celestial symbols, scattered throughout museums and private collections pieces that many prefer to ignore, as if challenging the official version of history. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding who actually produced these records and what they were trying to convey could completely change our view of the origins of humanity. Write it down. This makes sense to me. When corruption spread across the earth, surpassing all limits of morality and the natural order, God's decision was not just to punish, but to redefine humanity's very trajectory. The flood, then, appears as a kind of reset, a necessary cleansing to restore balance between the physical and spiritual worlds. Imagine rivers becoming walls of water that swallowed entire cities, taking with them not only people but also secrets, knowledge, and lineages that should never have existed. It is in this context that the notion of transformation becomes evident. Every decision, every act of disobedience had a direct impact on the structure of the world as we know it. The behind-the-scenes story reveals an earth marked by the clash between order and chaos, where choices and mindsets determined who would survive and who would be erased forever. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding the magnitude of this judgment is to perceive the true dimension of the human journey, the risks of challenging limits, and the revelations that remain hidden between the lines of history. Comment: I'm on this journey too. Even after the devastation of the flood, the question remains, was the blood of this forbidden race completely extinguished, or does it still pulse in some hidden lineage among us? Some ancient texts suggest that fragments of this heritage survived, passing unnoticed through the generations, shaping mindsets, decisions, and power structures almost invisibly. There are theories that certain spiritual elites and influential families may carry traces of this ancestral lineage, transmitting not only physical strength, but also knowledge and skills beyond the ordinary. These hidden vestiges would have impacted the course of history, guiding civilizations, inspiring myths, and even influencing the choices that define the destiny of entire peoples. It's as if the earth had recorded a hidden truth, a silent transformation that spanned millennia, shaping humanity in ways we still don't fully understand. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because to understand these connections behind the scenes of history is to realize that some revelations were never truly lost, just carefully hidden. Comment: that makes sense to me. When Jesus said, "As it was in the days of Noah, so will it be at the coming of the Son of Man," he may have left a cryptic clue about patterns that repeat themselves throughout history. But what does this really mean? Some scholars believe these words refer not only to human wickedness, but also to hidden forces that, just as in ancient times, continue to influence the world in subtle ways, shaping decisions, power structures, and even the collective mindset. It's as if humanity is trapped in a kind of cycle, in which the impact of past choices reverberates behind the scenes in the present, creating signs that many ignore. Modern prophecies, inexplicable phenomena, and events that seem to defy logic can be interpreted as echoes of this forgotten race, reminders of a hidden truth that insists on revealing itself. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, exploring these connections and revelations that hide beneath the surface of history and eschatology. Comment: I'm on that journey too. The hidden race before the flood may have been erased from sacred texts, but not from Earth's history. Their marks, their fragmented stories, and the traces of their existence still echo in legends, ancient ruins, and records that have dared to stand the test of time. And do you think they really existed? What kind of impact could these forbidden lineages have left on the world we know today? Comment below on what you believe happened before Noah, Share your theories, impressions, or even that strange feeling that something has been hidden from us for millennia. If this subject fascinates you and you want to continue exploring the deepest mysteries of the Bible, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell. Your every action helps reveal more hidden truths and keep this journey through the shadows of history alive. If you've made it this far, it means this story has truly piqued your curiosity, and I appreciate you following every detail of this journey. If you want to continue exploring these mysteries and revelations that history tries to hide, subscribe to the channel. Here, you'll find thought-provoking content and revealing truths rarely told. And tell me in the comments, right, I'm with you until the end, if this journey through the world before Noah made sense to you and sparked new questions. Also, leave a like, because each like is like recognition that the connection we've created here was worthwhile. And there's a video right here that complements this topic. Click and stay with me there, because the story we're unraveling still holds many more secrets.